Okay, so I'm back. And this time I'm going to do my top 10 most badass anime boys. Last time it was girls, this time it's boys. And let's get on with it. Okay, so number 10. Number 10 is Hatsuharu Soma from Fruits Basket. And I say that because, alright, so when he's White Haru, he is White Haru and Black Haru. He's like bipolar. So White Haru, he's nice and he's sweet and he's kind and he's gentle and he's tender. And he's not really badass as White Haru. It's true. But he can be. Like, in that little gray moment when he's like not so much Black Haru yet, but at the same time he's not very white either. But when he's Black Haru, he goes full blast, all out. He will not stand it for him to. The best example is when he goes Black Haru and starts fighting Yuki. I think it was Yuki. No, he was fighting Kyo when he first shows up, and he's fighting Kyo, and he just yells at him. He's about to fight him, and I think he does a little bit of punching, but he trampled Kyo with words, and that's badass. I'm sorry. But I think what makes him more badass than that was the bicycle scene. I mean, you see all this gear on him, and he's looking at the thing, and he's like, oh, well, I'm gonna go biking. Of course I'm gonna go biking. I'm dressed as a biker. Oh, no, he hops on a bicycle and just rides off ringing his bell. I think that's badass because he totally mind raped you right there, and it's just amazing. But the best Black Haru moment, I think, was in the hallway. And when he's convincing the president about his hair. So, think about it like this. Black Haru, badass. Just don't even ask about the hair scene. We all know what it was. Alright, so number 9. Number 9 is Kenshin Himura from Rurouni Kenshin. Now, Kenshin is that sweet, happy-go-lucky kind of guy. He had a really bad past. I mean, he was the Batosai, the manslayer. And then he killed his wife. Yeah, bad past. He killed his wife, and now he's atoning for it by he swore an oath never to kill again. And so he won't. He has the reverse blade sword. But if he wanted to, he could kill someone with a reverse blade sword. I know he could. Anyone could. But, well, almost anyone could. But only Kenshin could knock someone out with the back of a sword at that speed. He's so fast. He's badass. He can... And to see that look in his face when he goes into Batosai mode, it's amazing. He got a chunk eaten out of his shoulder and still continued to fight. He almost passed out fighting. And he fought to the point where he would pass out the instant he got done fighting, simply because he was going to pass out in the fight, but just kind of used his will to keep going. Well, there's a lot more to say about Kenshin, but it's just too much for one video. I'm just going to say he is in this top 10 list of badass anime guys. Number 8 is Sebastian Michaels from Black Butler. Sebastian is a butler. So he has to get all the work done, and he has to cooperate with all of these four servants who they seem like they can't do real servant work. The only thing they can actually do is fight, because that's what they were meant for, and that's really why he got them in the first place. So he's the one who does all the housework. But what makes him badass is that he can do that, and he can fight. He can kill and fight and do all sorts of stuff with silverware. No, no, no. Not just any silverware. All silverware. That includes spoons. Spoons. Forks, spoons, and butter knives. Not steak knives, butter knives. Fight like that? Epic. Really. Silverware versus chainsaw. Huh? Silverware won. And he fights a giant dog and gets it to listen. The only thing that I can think of that makes it so that he couldn't be badass is when he sees a kitten. When he sees a kitten, he goes softy mode. Other than that, he's always badass. I'm sorry. Sebastian Michaels is number 8, hands down. Number 7 is one of those that fits the list of anime badass guys because he's technically anime, because Final Fantasy, in my opinion, is anime because it just fits. So Auron from Final Fantasy X. Auron is the ultimate badass guy in all of gaming, in my opinion. Auron has a broken arm, and he's had it since before the beginning of the game. So his arm, he can't really use it. So it's in a sling throughout the whole game. So Auron has a giant sword. He can hold it in one hand. And even with that broken arm, his limit break, he uses that broken arm to push monsters backward. How badass is that? He's so badass that in Kingdom Hearts, Hades had him in Underworld and said that he was the most fearful villain ever. I mean, Auron's so badass that he's a hero that apparently is now a villain in Hades' eyes. Yeah, that's why Auron is number 7. Number 6 is Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho. Now, Yusuke's a badass because the only one who can even see him as anything but a punk is Keiko. And I think that's pretty cool and pretty sweet of her. But aside from that, Yusuke grew up with no father and a alcohol-addicted mother. So he grew up on the street, well, not on the streets, but in a sense on the streets, because he's a street punk. He's feared by everyone. He kicks the shit out of everyone. He's died twice. Sorry for the spoiler, but I had to point that out. Yusuke died twice. And the second time he died, he became a freaking demon. Yes. This is just amazing. So, oh, and Yusuke also got a bite taken out of his shoulder by his demon ancestral father. And kept fighting. That was kind of... I think Yusuke is very badass because of everything he's been through. He took on Toguro, who can apparently kill someone with his finger, even at 30% power. So that's just amazing. Go into Genkai's training, yes. So that is why he's number 6. Number 5, in my opinion, is Train Hartnett. He is number 5 because Train has gone through a lot of stuff also. He is also happy-go-lucky. He's kind of like Kenshin in that way. He's happy-go-lucky because he's been through a lot of shit. He was known as number 13 Black Cat. Of course, he's from Black Cat, so he is Black Cat. He's the main character. But the point is, he's got this gun, Hades. It's the name of his gun, and it was given to him specifically by Kronos, his assassination team. And now that he's a bounty hunter, or a sweeper, in the show, they are sweepers, he actually doesn't kill anyone with it anymore. So what's cool is that sometimes, I don't remember if this was in the anime, but I know for sure it was in the manga, he stopped bullets by shooting the bullets. He hit other bullets with his bullets. He blocks bullets with his gun. He hits people with his gun and knocks them out. He can do anything with a gun. Anything. Really. So like that actually kind of scares me, the fact that he can do anything with a gun, but I'm not even going to go there. So Trey Hartnett is a badass, even if he's kind of a goofball. Okay, number 4 is Greed. And I don't mean Greed from Fullmetal Alchemist, the original. I mean Greed from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, because I'm talking about Greedling, like lingering, Greedling. Yeah, Greedling. He's badass because him and Ling, they fight over the body constantly, and Ling's always winning, but at the same time Greed's always winning. It all kind of depends on the situation. And Greed, he just kind of, it's in his face, it's in his attitude. It's not about toughness in his case, it's all about attitude. So, I'm sorry, but Greed is just, it could be the sexiness that's getting to me, but Greed just, wow. I mean, think about it. He won't even accept the fact that people still call him Ling. It's like, oh, hi Ling! The name's Greed. It's amazing. And he's so badass. And, yeah. Alright, so, number 3 is Shizuo Hiwajima from Durarara. And that was kind of I couldn't figure out whether to choose Shizuo or to choose Izaya, but I think Shizuo is more of a badass than Izaya, honestly. Shizuo got stabbed in the hand and in both legs with pencils, or were they pens? But he yanked the pencil out of his hand and left the one in his legs because he and I quote said, "If I yank this out, it's just going to bleed." So, yeah, he's like, he left the pen in his legs just so that he wouldn't bleed. I mean, who does that except for a badass, right? And he's like super strong, and I mean super strong. He can throw pretty much anything miles. He caught a knife in his teeth that was thrown by Blade Master Izaya. Yeah, I add. I take that back. He caught a blade in his teeth 3 times. I think Shizuo takes the cake on number 3 of badassness, because this next 2 are, if it weren't for the next 2, he'd be number 1. Alright, so number 2 is Spike Spiegel. Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, add. He is a badass because he's just, oh my god. I don't know how to describe how I came up with this because of how much he is a badass, because he's done so much that makes him, he's got this arrogance, and he's so sarcastic that it's hard to detect it. It's like he can just make you think, oh my god, Spike, you're amazing. And you don't even know why you're saying he's amazing. And that, in my definition, is badass. Alright, so the last one is Mugen. Mugen is what I call the past life of Spike. And I think Mugen is like Mugen from Samurai Champloo, of course. He's Spike's past life. Now, Mugen has many reasons for being a badass. He's vulgar, he's an amazing samurai, he's a gambler. Now, think of it this way. Mugen is, there's a part where they're playing baseball. Mugen, everybody gets knocked out, and they pretend that they all die. It's really funny. But Mugen wins the game by fighting breakdance style. He breakdances throughout the rest of the game. And it's amazing. He fights samurai style with his clogs, and I'm Megan's a badass. That was my top 10 most badass anime boys. Next week will be the top 10 best anime parents. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy the next one. Leave your comments, please, and I will enjoy them. Goodbye. I'll see you next time.